Baby, why don't you let me in? Welcome, everyone, to the Barry Friends podcast. My name is Isaiah,
My name's Eric.
and we're excited to be back. It's been a little bit of time, a little over a month. We had to deal with a snowstorm, a huge snowstorm that pretty much affected all of New England and some parts of the other East Coast, New York and New Jersey, all that. So we're back, and it's warmer. And spring is here technically, but it's still cold where we are. So hopefully it gets warmer soon.
Yeah, I mean, we just finished March Madness too. I know the tournament's still going on, but it feels like this month's just been like a stretch of time.
Yep.
So Backstreet's back.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to get to. So we got some life updates. I'll start real quick. I don't really have any updates. I don't really have much, but everything's good. Everything's good. Works good. Working hybrid. That's always a plus. So my brother moved out. Actually,
Well,
that's big news. Moved to Providence, not too far. So, but moved with a friend who is from California, and so he's got that place. I actually might hang out there for like a week. In next couple weeks, play some golf up there. So, I think that's the biggest thing. Miss your time, and but that's really it for me.
Well, so I believe your girlfriend Alicia, right?
Yes, Alicia. Yes,
Alicia, yes.
yes,
She also lives in Providence or in Rhode Island.
correct. Yes, yeah.
So are they like? I mean, I don't want to give up any address on.
Oh
air,
yeah,
but
no, for sure,
Are
for
they
sure.
like near each other or?
Yeah, they're actually 8 minutes apart. So you can get there easily to their houses using one street that again I will not name, but but
Yeah.
you can get there pretty much on one street and get there 8 minutes or
Is there
less.
like
So
any go-to spots in Providence, like any Top Golf or any kind of like restaurants that like stick out to you?
oh yeah, Top Golf. There's a Top Golf in Cranston. I think Cranston. I don't think it's Warwick. Cranston. Really fun. Been to a couple times. A ton of restaurants. If you go on Thayer Street, there are a ton of. There's a great Chinese place, Chinatown. There's boba places. Oh yeah, a ton of places to go eat, have fun. There's a nice park, Indian Point Park, right next to the water. A lot of good stuff. I was there college for years, so um, yeah, a lot of good stuff there, and got a lot of friends up there too. So
Yeah, basically an honorary resident.
yeah, honorary resident for sure. Hopefully, I could be a resident there soon. But yeah, honorary resident for the time being.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric, you got a lot of stuff though to update us with.
Yep. So I'm gonna start out with giving you guys a quick background on myself. So I am currently a reporter for Newsweek, and I report on the NBA. And this last month, I've actually had a series of interviews. I attended a press event for Breonna Stewart. I've interviewed Muggsy Bogues. I've talked to WWE Hall of Famer Jeff Jarrett.
Hmm.
And the one that really sticks out to me, and I'm really, really happy I did this, was I got to interview Tracy McGrady, seven-time All-Star, about his upcoming OBL league.
Wow, that's a lot of big names right there.
Yeah.
Brianna Stewart, and of course ending there with Tracy McGrady.
Yes, and of course Tracy. It was a really pleasure to talk to him. He's a really cool guy. I've talked to about 30 NBA players at this point, and by far my favorite interview. He was actually right before my generation of basketball, yours too. So I think by the time I started watching, he was with the Knicks or the Hawks. But I looked back at his highlights and amazing dunker, amazing score. He had the 13, 14-point game in 30 seconds.
Yep.
And honestly, that guy is the same level as Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. Like I'm putting him in that same tier. And I'm a little bit biased, but I really appreciate him shouting out our school, GLCPS, and I also really appreciate him checking out my music and just like, you know, being himself.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, Tracy McGrady is, of course, an all-time great, and everyone could imagine if he didn't get injured, what his legacy could have been. So, but I mean, being able to talk to him about his life and as a basketball player, all that stuff must have been an incredible experience. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and I'll tell you too, the reason why we did this interview. So the OBL league is actually a one-on-one basketball league,
Okay.
and it'll be taking place in Orlando, Florida. So of course the main concept is instead of having players 1v1, they're having players represent different cities, like the best players from Philadelphia, best players from Orlando, and they have these 8 cities and they compete like in a league set format.
Okay, I see. Because I know we had the 3v3, the Big Three League.
Yeah, I think Ice
That's
Cubes
what it's
League.
called. Right. And now this one on one. But that's cool because if it's just like I mean, it'd be cool, if in general it was a one-on-one and you had, you know, several NBA players or, whoever want to do this, but being able to represent their city or state or whatever, I think brings another element and a little more pride to want these players to win and compete. So yeah, I've never heard of that league until just now. So curious, you know, where to watch it, how to watch it. Might tune in at some point.
Oh,
So
yeah, and I asked him this question too, but the NBA, we talked about, I think, last month, where they possibly could have added a 1v1 at the All-Star game, like the All-Star tournament,
yep.
and Tracy told me that, he supports this idea, and he'd really like to see a 1v1 tournament at the All-Star weekend,
Mm.
and in his opinion, he thinks that the best person to compete in this would be Kevin Durant.
Oh,
Yep.
for sure. Yeah.
So he says, like, he doesn't know, like, who would step up and really wanna do it on a big stage, but that, KD would be a top choice for him.
Yeah. I mean, the issue is going to be any of these all stars wanting to play in, I mean, one on one, you're not passing, you're not able to like step aside. That you have to work every minute on defense and offense. So if NBA players aren't even gonna want to do dunk competitions, right? I mean, I think it's gonna be hard to get them to be motivated to do these one on ones. But maybe, hopefully, there'll be some hope and we have some all stars wanting to do that in the future. So.
Well, who would you pick? Like, if this hypothetical tournament took place, like, who do you think would win the championship?
Oh man. You got to have size, but I don't like it's got to be small forward, maybe power forward nowadays, size wise. KD is good, but I think you need someone who's going to be better defensively. I think Giannis could win it. I think Giannis has the length and he has the handle to absolutely win. I think, of course, Wemby could absolutely win. With
Yeah,
his
for
length,
sure.
and I'm representing Wemby today. Not a Spurs fan, if you're new, but I just love Wemby and what he's been able to accomplish. But yeah, I think both of them have length and are able to dribble and able to score. Giannis doesn't have the 3-pointer like Wemby, but I think both of them. I mean, Giannis has more size, so I could see them in a final, Wemby versus Giannis, and I don't know. I think that'd be a really good one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you mentioned, small forward, power forward position. And of course, there's that mix of like explosiveness and skill set. And of
Hmm.
course, KD, if you watch his Olympic performance, like he was silky smooth right into the paint.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
like kind of the 1v1 game, what you need to have. And honestly, I'm gonna piggyback off Tracy. I'm gonna say it's gonna be KD if that would
Okay.
happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Wemby, KD, throw in Anthony Edwards in there, throw in Jalen Brown. They all fit that same like dynamic going.
Yeah, for sure. That would be very fun. And again, to spruce up the All Star weekend, if possible, I think that'd be a great addition to it for sure. Um, let's move here to our first main topic, and
Oh,
that's going to be. Oh yes,
and
yes.
one more shout out
Oh
for
yeah, go for it. Go for it. Yeah,
Yep. So I have to put it because you've been part of Team Larry's Bird.
Larry's Bird. Yes,
Yep.
yes, yes.
So every Thursday, Team Larry's Bird, I'm part of it, team captain. But we go to the 99 and we compete in trivia. Isaiah been a part of those games, some of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember one where we didn't win, and I was there, so I never been again. And now we have this. Now we have this. What Eric's going to share.
Yep. So in the month of March, we did not just win one time or twice,
Mm,
but we are three-peat 99 champions.
wow. Wow. So now I have a question. Okay, if you're really good at trivia at 199, is there like March Madness? Is there like regional 99s you could go to and be like the top trivia team in the region? Is that such a thing?
I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think they start the same time, same questions to prevent people from like cheating and getting to like other 99s.
Sure, sure, sure. Right, right.
But I know that they had of course like with different pop culture events and sports, like they did March Madness as one week. They had Irish history, Irish things.
Yep,
They had Oscars. So every week they try to do like some kind of theme of something happening.
for sure. Yeah, but that's big. And it's usually what's your team? You, Sodi, Ryan,
Yep, throw
some
in Uncle K,
Uncle K.
Aunt
Yep, yep,
C,
yep, yep. And sometimes
the Big J, Jesse,
yeah,
J
just
Dog.
yeah, yeah. And your buddy there though. Sometimes he was history. Isn't
Oh,
is it
Cam, yeah.
Cam? Yes, Cam. Yes,
Yep.
yes.
He's
Um,
kind of like he doesn't come too often, but when he comes, he's like the Slim Reaper, you know.
he's on. He's dialed in. He's
Yeah.
dialed locked in.
But no, when I went with you, like we got 20 out of 30,
Yeah.
and I mean you were a big top contributor to that too.
Thank you. Thank
But
you.
20 out of 30 is basically a first place in any other week. But for some reason, we got fourth.
Yeah, the other teams were locked in for whatever reason, and it is what it is. That, but I gotta go back and join, and maybe I'll bring Alicia too. She definitely has a lot of knowledge, especially in the Greek and classics.
Oh,
In that genre. So I think she'd be helpful.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
We need all the help, specialties.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, and there's no limit to a team, right?
Oh
Not like
no.
people wide number of people.
Sometimes we have like two tables next to each other. The
Yeah.
maximum priority is like 7, 6, 6, 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
But generally, we keep it to like 6 or 7 people like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. Nice. Nice. Very good. All right. Let's move on now to the madness of March. We are to the we're to the final four of the men's. We're 50% of the way to the final four of the women's. Two matches are going tonight, and that'll solidify the women's final four. But right now we have here for the men's UConn versus Illinois and Arizona versus Michigan, both number one seeds. And then for the women's right now, we have locked in UConn and UCLA. And like I said, two more games later today. Eric, did you fill any brackets? Do you have any winners for men's and women's?
So I didn't fill out a men's bracket, but I did pick UConn to win for women.
Okay.
And every year, me and my dad have this bet where the winner has to, well, the loser has to pay for the winner's dinner at Texas Roadhouse.
Nice.
So
Nice.
not
Yeah.
sponsored, but every year we pick Texas Roadhouse.
Yep.
Nice meal, really hearty. But I know we did women's this year. We both picked UConn to win. But the big difference maker is actually ironic. So if Texas beats Michigan, then he has to buy me dinner. But
Because
if Michigan beats Texas, then I have to buy him dinner.
that's the bracket kind of how you guys had it set up.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
But myself, women's, I have UConn Texas final. Men's, I actually did pick UConn to win too.
Okay.
And now it sounds really good over air because
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
happened.
after the fact.
But I swear it happened, yeah.
Yeah, we next time we got to bring in our brackets and show the audience beforehand. But yeah, I did not. Well, I had UConn women's. I didn't make a bracket, but I have UConn. I feel like I always have UConn there. Never bad bet to have UConn's women winning the whole bracket. But for men's, I had Houston, and I was rooting for the coach. And I just like the city of Houston. I visited once or twice in my life, and just felt like yeah, like it's always men's is always toss up. I feel like women's is like usually the number one seeds are in the final four, and like that, it's almost a lock all the time. But for the men's, it's usually a toss up. So I thought especially because Florida was in that bracket or in that region, and they got beat early, and I was like, oh, okay, great. Houston has kind of an easy way to get to the final four. Well, unfortunately, not the case. They lost to Illinois 65-55, and I just was reading an article about it quickly, and Houston Houston's offense was awful. Houston's offense was awful, and this isn't the first time this has happened. The past, 3-4 seasons they've been in the tournament. This is kind of what happens. They have one really bad offensive performance. So it's unfortunate. I thought they could at least make it to the Final Four with what they had up against them, but good for Illinois, and hopefully, it'll be a good match between them and UConn. And I think now with seeing the Final Four now in the men's, I got to go Arizona. I think they are super elite, defensively, offensively. I think they're big, and so. But Michigan's tough. Michigan's also number one seed. They're going to be a tough fight. But I think honestly, the winner of that game is probably going to win the whole thing. UConn will be tough if they beat Illinois, but I just think Arizona and Michigan will overpower them talent wise. So
Mhm. And especially with Arizona, he hasn't really contributed too much to the tournament, but we have Bronny James. Well, not Bronny James, Bryce James. Yeah,
yes, yep,
he got to cut
yep.
down the net the other day.
Yeah, right, yeah. You better let him. You
Yeah.
better let him
So
if he can contribute.
LeBron might like get his son to get a Final Four. I don't know, like a half ring thing, or win the championship and get his ring, or I know LeBron didn't go to college, but his son might end up making NCAA history.
Right, for sure, absolutely. That would be exciting for the James family. So yeah, that's kind of what it looks like right now. I had made brackets for my work and for my church, and of course those are broken immediately. I'm not looking for perfection at this point. That's too stressful. That's like never gonna happen. But I was looking good throughout the first like throughout until the Sweet 16, until Houston got out, and then my brackets were completely shattered. So
Yeah. Well, with the mock draft coming up too for the NBA, I think they have it every June, the real draft.
yes, yep.
Do you feel like any stocks went up or down for players?
I think for AJ, right, on BYU,
Yep.
um, his team got knocked out in the first round, but he had a 35 plus point performance. So obviously it wasn't him. He didn't like have a awful performance, awful game. It was the rest of his team. So I think his stock's probably the same. I think there was a kid on Kansas. I can't remember his name, but I think his stock is a little down. They lost to St. John's, but St. John's is a pretty good team. But I think his stock will go down because he wasn't really clutch at the end of the game, and you couldn't really rely on him. I wish I remembered his name, but I can't remember. That's really I probably have right now in terms of who I think is up and down for this upcoming draft.
Nice. Yeah. I don't know if you've heard of Acuff Jr.
No, no.
So I believe he plays for Arkansas,
Okay.
but he actually made NCAA history. He's the first athlete to have like his own shoe brand deal right before he
Oh
gets to the
yes,
NBA.
was that with Reebok?
Yeah, with
Yes, I
Reebok.
saw that. Yep,
So
yep,
he has the endorsement from Allen Iverson. I believe UConn coach also endorsed him, but he's been getting all this recent momentum, and he's really been taken over the tournament too, just with his play.
yeah.
Um, I can't say for sure like how he will develop into the NBA, but right now he is one of the top prospects, and I could see him getting into the top 5 by the time June rolls around.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens, but I think that he should be on people's radar.
Yeah. Okay. What position does he play?
I want to say he plays point guard, shooting guard.
Okay. Okay.
So that's kind of like one of those positions where with college, like guards come very easily. Centers are really hard to find.
Yeah.
But right now, as far as guards go, he is one of the top in NCAA. And getting an endorsement from Iverson, really big. And
Yep.
especially just what he's done in the tournament is all proof.
Yeah. I think you get a shoe deal making history with Reebok and Allen Iverson shouting you out. I think I think it's almost top 10 lock. I think
Yeah.
it's almost top 10 lock when you have that behind you. So it's gonna be interesting. I don't know what I mean, quickly with the just topic on the draft. International wise, I don't know, who's out there like there's no Wemby. There's no Wemby. I don't know who's out there like that, but maybe this is the time where the athletes from college kind of take a step forward and are back kind of in the top picks versus international play.
Oh, yeah. You look at the MVP race and top 5, for the most part, it's all international players.
Yep.
And same thing, you talked about Wembanyama. I mean, we had Cooper Flag last year, but nonetheless, like the trend has been going towards international.
Right.
So AJ right here in Massachusetts, we got Cameron Boozer,
Yep.
Carlos Boozer's son.
Right.
So we got different prospects to look out for.
For sure. For sure. We'll see how that goes. But March Madness will, I believe, end this weekend. So stay tuned to hopefully your team has made it to the Final Four. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the games that I've seen. So it's been good.
Well,
Been good.
like I said, tonight's game, Texas and Michigan.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be biting at the nail. You and your dad are gonna be better make your own popcorn for that.
Oh yeah, I got a specialty.
Yes.
Well, last episode you mentioned a burger from McDonald's, and if I'm correct, that burger is the Big Arch.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I've seen them. Yep.
So I ate that too, and I'm gonna give that a cosign.
There you go. Nice.
I gotta
Nice.
bring
Sweet.
that back like all year round.
For sure. Absolutely. 100%.
But that
100%.
just reminded me that it's popcorn, Big Mac, not quite the same quality.
Mm.
Like I put the Big Arch a little bit lower than
Okay.
popcorn.
Yeah, you better. You better.
Yeah.
That popcorn's fantastic.
But I know every time you're over the house, you always request that popcorn.
I always request it, and sometimes I don't get it, which there's no one to blame. No one to blame, but I would love that popcorn next time at your house. Great. All right, let's move forward here with some breaking news out of the NBA. We got a few things here. So first is Kate Cunningham from the Detroit Pistons. He has a collapsed lung, and he will be out for at least another week. Now he will be evaluated for another week and see how long he will be out for after that, or if he'll be good to play. That's pretty big, and there's also something besides the Pistons being a number 1 seed that is big about this injury to Kane Cunningham.
For sure, yeah. Well, as far as the MVP race goes, I know that they have the new 65 game rule. So Cade Cunningham's had an amazing season. He's been very productive, but due to this new rule, now he's going to be out of it. He's not going to be able to be in the top 5 or wherever he is for voting. And the big controversy is the voters really should have this right to decide if the games matter or if, there should be a limit on the games. That's really the big controversy is he played really productive for, 55, 60 games, but he's not going to hit 65. So, what would you do about it?
Yeah. I saw that I think the um commission, the NFL, or not NFL, the NBA, not NBAPA, but the NBPA,
Yeah, that sounds
NBA,
right.
the Players Association, essentially, for the NBA, was looking to see if they could change this rule, essentially, because of Kate Cunningham. Um, but I think if they're gonna tweak it, they should tweak it where you um where if you're out for a certain amount of games, it's for a significant injury, right? Like, those games maybe shouldn't count. Versus if you're just sitting, right, and like you're just out for rest or something like that, then that is contributed. But then the question becomes, how do you look at if someone is actually injured, or if someone's just out for rest or something? So I think that's where the challenge becomes. Um, but Cunningham being out, I think they've locked the number one seed in the East. I could be wrong. I don't know if the Celtics can.
Not officially, but
Not
we're talking
officially.
about 6 games out of 10 left,
Yeah, yeah,
6 wins, separation.
yeah. So it's a gap. The Celtics could make a run here, but I think depending on this injury, how many games Cade's out, can determine if the Pistons will keep this number one seed on lock or not. So hopefully, Cade, you come back healthy and strong. I mean, I say that just as a human being. I want his health. As a basketball fan, the same thing, but also Celtics. And I, I
Yeah.
want them to do well too. And I know if Kate Cunningham comes back healthy, it's gonna be a problem for us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first round, I know Celtics and Pistons won't really match up, but the Eastern Conference, we'll talk about it later, but Pistons, I believe, are fakers this year.
Mm.
And that is not really disrespectful to the Pistons. I mean, they've come a very long way. They've had an amazing season, but I just don't see them as top of the East. So, I mean, it is the title they hold, and they hold, they had a really productive season, but just as far as team identity and the amount of players they have, the depth, I think they still have to make more moves in order to solidify their run as serious contenders.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later because I might have a slightly different opinion on that. But we'll talk about that after. Um, let's see here for the breaking news here. Steph Curry has been ruled out another 2 games with a knee injury. Um, but to be honest, I mean, yeah, Steph Curry is still prominent. He's still playing well for his age. But I think, with where the Warriors are at with in the standings this year, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters because they are this close away from not being in the playing tournament. So, but at the same time, they're just not a good team this year. So,
No, and I mean, they're gonna make the playoffs. They're 10th seed, and no one below them can really catch that. But the teams, Jimmy Butler's out for the season. Kristaps Porzingis is hurt for the majority of the season. Curry is, he's day to day, or he's gonna be out for a couple weeks. But it's just that it's this old veteran team, and they really don't have a future going for them.
mm,
Like after Curry, you have Butler, who's a year younger than Curry, I believe, and then Porzingis, like I said, who's injury prone for the most part. Al Horford, who could retire any day now.
yeah, yeah, right.
Jay Margoon, who could get traded any day now too.
Yeah,
But I said this last season, like I thought that Kerr would get fired and Draymond traded and all that, and I'll stick by it that we're at that very last stage of the Warriors, that era where it's Curry and Green and of course Thompson left, but
yeah,
we're at the very last stage of that.
yeah. And I think Kaminga is either out of the Warriors or has requested a trade several times. I forget if he has moved on or not, but he's their kind of young piece, and he wants out,
Yeah,
or is already. I don't remember.
yeah, I think that's how we got Porzingis.
Right. Oh yeah, because is he on the Hawks now? Right.
So
Yeah.
Porzingis was on the Hawks, yeah,
Right.
and then the swap,
So
yeah,
now Kaminga is now on the Hawks. Okay.
but no future.
But yeah, no future. Right. They're old, and I mean, what does Steve Kerr do too? Just real quick, like as a coach, is he gonna want to see this team blow up and then kind of resurrect the Warriors franchise? Or is he gonna be like, I'm out too? It's interesting. I remember you had like a hot take last season on the Barely Friends podcast where it was like everyone's gone. Am I wrong on that? Was it like that for the Warriors?
I just think that Green himself, he's still productive as a defender, But when you look at the team like structure, I feel like Green is a good piece to move for someone else.
Okay.
Like I think that there was rumors that Giannis could come to the Warriors and Green would be like a piece as part of that with Kaminga.
Yeah.
So I think he's a good like asset or like sweetener to a deal. And otherwise he's just gonna slowly decrease in productivity.
Right.
And if we're being honest, I'm gonna say the Warriors still would have been dynasty without Green.
Mm,
Like to me, he's just replaceable.
okay. Hot take. Hot take from Eric J. Santo, for sure. Um, yeah, we got to have another hot take segment. Actually, by the way, we got to do that again. That was good. All right, let's see here. Oh yeah, NBA presents three anti-taking proposals. And I'm not gonna. I said I'm gonna read the article. I'm not gonna read it because it's a lot. But the NBA has three ways because there are a lot of teams this year, maybe about a third, that have been tanking on purpose because they just know that they haven't played well in the first half of the game after the season, and so they're looking to there's no real consequence of um, letting or losing all these games. It's the consequence is getting a number one lottery pick. So the NBA is looking to see if they can change that at all. Do you think that should be the case? They should change this proposal.
Well, going off of last year, the number one pick went to the Dallas Mavericks, and I believe Dallas played in the play-in tournament, which to me is the playoffs.
Mm,
Because if you're playing the postseason, it's essentially the playoffs.
yeah.
But they finished with the best to worst record. Like they were, I think, a 10th or ninth seed, and it
Yeah.
still ended up with the best pick. So I think that if you tank in the league, the natural consequences are your fans are going to lose interest. They're not going to come to games. They're not going to watch games, and that's what you're going to deal with as a franchise.
Yeah.
And if you continue to put out this bad product, then you're going to face the consequences naturally to those fans.
Mm,
So I don't see a problem with tanking. It shouldn't be done like as in it shouldn't be like a strategy that's encouraged and like embraced by the NBA.
yeah.
But I don't see anything wrong with trying to stop the current system that's in place.
Mm, yeah. It's tough. I think it's gonna be hard for them to try to figure out a way to make sure that teams don't tank at all. I think there's always going to be tanking in the NBA. I think this year though was pretty egregious, having a third league kind of just be like, yeah, and then I think the issue it becomes fans paying for these tickets, expecting that their all stars are going to be playing, and then the day before they learn, oh nope, like we're not playing this guy, we're not playing this guy. No, we're not starting our whole lineup. I mean, that's happened at times. So I think Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, can do so much. But at the end of the day, if real change is going to happen, it's going to have to be at the ownership level and potentially at the players level too. And I don't know if everyone gets to one side at the end of this.
Do you remember like any of the general gist of the strategies they want to put in place?
Yeah.
Like still ping pong balls, or do they want to do like voting or
Yeah. Let me see. I have it right here. So let's see. So the first proposal source, and I'm just getting this off of ESPN. Sources say that 18 teams, the bottom 10 that miss the play-in tournament, and the 8 that qualify for it, all will be a part of the draft lottery. So just okay. So the bottom 18, I guess. Um, Bottom 10 teams will have an equal 8% chance of moving up in the lottery, with the remaining 20% of the odds being split among the 8 play-in teams in descending order from 11th through 18th. I don't really know what that means, to be honest. So that's one way. Another way is just instead of 18, it's 22 teams. And then the last way is a 5 by 5 method. In this one, the same 18 teams from the first concept, the bottom 10 that missed the play-in, plus the 8 that make it, would be entered into the lottery. The teams with the 5 worst records would then all have the same odds, with them descending from there, and there would be a lottery drawing from each of the top 5 picks. I don't get this. I don't get that. Like making a difference with teams tanking. All you're doing is I got to read maybe the full article. Maybe I'm not understanding it correctly, but you're just adding more teams to the lottery, or you're only having a specific amount of teams in the lottery that are bad, but
it sounds like
still
a mix of both. Like
right.
because you talked about like some of them even odds for like the top like 5 bottom teams, and then adding some from the like lower end of the playing tournament to that.
Yeah,
So it sounds like a combination of the two.
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I said before that the Mavericks got the number one pick. and they really shouldn't have had it statistically.
Right.
So I really haven't seen like a case of a team tanking and then getting rewarded for tanking.
Sure. Right. Right.
So
Right.
until I see that happen, like I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think again, it's just the product of the game, and Adam Silver has kind of have enough of these tanking teams. So if you can make them less, not completely take like not completely shut it out, but if you can take less tanking teams, then I think that's a win for them. So all right, let's see here. Bam Adebayo had an 83-point game. Good for you, Bam. That was great. There's been some talk about, oh, it wasn't legit because they kept fouling you and they wanted to triple team you and all this stuff. The man scored 83 points. I mean, that's pretty incredible, even in today's game where it seems like there's no, not there's not a lot of defense allowed. But Bam did it, and he beat Kobe's record. Now he's number two all time, which is kind of crazy to think about. Bam Adebayo being up there with that record.
Yeah. Well, I put this in the notes too, but as I mentioned before, I do music and musical artist, and I'm number two in Portugal's history for
Mhm.
number one albums.
Yeah.
So it's Taylor Swift with like 20, myself with 8, and I think it's like Ed Sheeran and BTS with like 7 or 6.
Okay.
So when I watched that Bama Debayo game, that's something in my head. It's like you wouldn't imagine that he's not really a superstar level player, but nonetheless, you look at the statistics, you look at the game he achieved it, and that's something you should be proud of. The players support him, a lot of legends support him. He did it, and the Warriors, I mean the Wizards, they're the ones who fouled him.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they're unhappy about the fouls, they fouled him.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. They had a choice. I mean, they wanted to see the record. I mean, every team or everyone wanted to see Bam try to eclipse it, and it was. And Bam had to make the free throws, and Bam had to get these certain points. So, I mean, great for Bam. This is, I mean, the Heat aren't doing. This is probably the best that the Heat is going to do this season is have this 83-point game from Bam. But I mean, good for him. Good for him. Okay. All right, here we go. Expansion. So the NBA is looking to expand in their for the amount of teams they have. The two regions that are looking for expansion are Seattle and Las Vegas. Las Vegas is pretty easy. They're expanding everywhere. NFL, hockey, they're going out and about. So makes sense there. And then Seattle, looking to maybe come back to Supersonics. Now I don't know. Do you think they would, if it were at Seattle, that the Supersonics would be that they would name the team after the Supersonics again?
I think very likely, yeah.
Mm,
I think what they want to do is they want to rename to Supersonics and then like take the history from the Thunder and then move that history to the Sonics so they have it
okay.
back.
Yeah.
So the Thunder would have their like '08 history to now, and the Sonics would regain like their stuff from before then.
Right. 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 Yeah. I think this is going to be great for the NBA. I think there's going to be some shift, right, in the Western Conference teams and Eastern Conference teams.
Yeah, definitely. You'd have to move at least because Seattle, of course, is like the far west of the country,
Yeah.
and Las Vegas, right there.
Right.
So you're gonna have to move one of the West teams to the East.
Yep. Do you have any team in mind?
So I was thinking Minnesota, kind of right on the border, like it's near the central area.
Okay.
If you take them, put them into that division with like Chicago, I can't recall off the top of my head who's in there, but I feel like that'd be a good fit for the Eastern Conference.
Hmm.
And just traditionally, it has been a weaker conference. And if you put Timberwolves in there, I think that they have a very rare opportunity to become one of the juggernauts in the NBA just based on where they're located.
Yeah, I think if Minnesota were the team to move to the East, I think they're probably a top five team in the East automatically because we are talking about the weak East here. And so Minnesota is loaded with Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, and they have a great defensive team, great coach. So I think that would be a great movement there in the Eastern Conference. So, but I think it's going to be very entertaining to see how these two teams, because there'll be some sort of, I don't know if it's a lottery, but some sort of kind of draft where these, players will go to these two teams. So when that happens, we'll see kind of how the lay of the land, so to speak, ends up. But yeah, I think it's going to take place 2028, 2029,
Yep.
somewhere along there. So yeah, it's good for the NBA, and I think those fan bases are going to be absolutely ecstatic when those teams are going to be official.
Yeah, well, we kind of have an idea for the Sonics. Well, Seattle, we don't know officially yet, but they're most likely going to be Supersonics.
Right.
For Las Vegas, do you have like any potential name ideas?
So they have the Golden Knights, Las Vegas Golden Knights for hockey, and then they have they have the Raiders because
Raiders, yeah.
they acquired the Raiders. Um, what's Vegas known for? A lot of things.
Mostly gambling.
I mean, gambling clubs. Um, um, maybe just the no, you can't just name it the sphere with the new sphere. That's kind of
Ooh.
dumb. You can't kind of name it after that. Even
Oh,
though
yeah,
that's
that'd be a
the
copyright issue.
yeah, right. That'd be
The Las
copyright.
Vegas Sphere.
I feel like I go into the history of Vegas and kind of get some kind of nostalgic name. Do you have anything?
Well, I think there's the Las Vegas Aces for WNBA.
Okay, yes,
So
yep,
you have
yep.
like the Las Vegas like spades
Mm,
or like another card symbol.
sure, that's true. That's true. That'd be unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, poker is a gambling game that
Yeah.
is all over Vegas because, as we know, casinos live in Vegas. So,
Yes. And also Sharks too. That'd be a good name too.
or sharks, yes,
But I think Sharks is like an NHL team or some
it
sort.
is. It is. So it'd probably be like maybe nope, you can't do Rays. That's baseball. Trying to think of another sea creature. That would be Las Vegas Eels.
There we go. Yeah.
You know,
Put it on the board.
right. Put it there. I mean, we have the New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, anything's on the table, right?
Yeah.
Anything's real on the table at this point.
Yeah, they said it's like, oh, it'll grow on you. Like you'll get used to it.
Right,
And
right.
I didn't get used to
No,
it.
no, not at all. Last but not least, here we have the MVP race, and we're getting to like the nitty gritty of who is going to get picked from fans and teams. So the top five here we have is Wemby number one. Shout out Wemby. Number two SGA. Number three Jokic. Number four Luca, and five Jalen Brown. Eric, who do you think's got it this year? It's loaded. It's a
Yeah.
loaded MVP race.
Honestly, yeah, top five. I could make a case for any of these five people. I mean, Wembanyama taking the Spurs who struggled these last 2 years and making them the second best team in the West.
Mm,
He's 100% valuable. And he's actually been leading the NBA in blocks for the last 3 seasons. So he's just an anomaly of sorts.
yeah.
And I know that's your pick, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it is my number one pick.
But my issue is, I still believe Jokic for the last 5 years has been the NBA's most valuable player. It's more so that people have gotten used to Jokic just averaging these triple doubles. That people are just saying, "Oh, that's the good old Jokic. That's just
Yeah,
him."
yeah,
But it really is something spectacular, and no one else in the game is doing this.
yeah,
So I feel like he's getting underrepresented, and 100% he should be getting these 5 back-to-back MVPs. And it's just a fact of voter fatigue. He hasn't.
yeah. I mean, their team is top five, and I know he's had a couple of, or I've seen at least one 40-point, 20-point, 20 rebound game. I mean, he's getting triple doubles. He's not athletic. He, I mean, he's doing everything your team wants to do, and he's not a distraction on your team. Like, I mean, none of these guys really. I mean, Luca kind of is at times a distraction off the court. But I mean, he does everything right off and on the court. And I think, like I said, people are kind of sick of him seeing his name as a top candidate for MVP. But I mean, if they were a top two seed, the Nuggets this year, then it's like we really got to consider it. But I think since he's outside of the top three, I think right now, from my understanding, um, I think that's where he kind of loses a lot of the fans. Wemby, number two, Spurs, SGA, top Thunder, So, but I agree. I think people are sick and tired of seeing him in the MVP race, but he's always up there, and he's doing everything he can for the Nuggets. Without him on the Nuggets, you put whoever, they aren't looking that great.
Yeah.
So
Well, I guess my question is, who do you think? Like in the sense, like who do you think voters will end up picking?
yeah, I think because SGA is on the precipice, kind of like Jokic, of like you've seen his name a ton. He's been MVP. Is it 2 times in a row or just one? Was he just MVP last year? Is that all?
Yeah, I think just his first time.
Okay, so he's not there yet, but once he gets, I mean, he could. I think SGA probably is going to get this with the Thunder playing as well as they have, and they've been injury prone throughout the whole year. I would lean on SGA, but I mean, Wemby. What can you say about him? I mean, he's all world talented, and he doesn't say. I mean, all these international guys, top three, right? Top three international guys. They know how to play the game, and they attend to the media, well, and I don't know. Any of those three could win it, in my opinion. But I think if what I'm thinking the fans and maybe even players too, I think leaning slightly SGA.
And I don't know if you knew this too, but if Wemby does win, which he's number one right now,
Yeah.
he would be the youngest MVP in NBA history.
Wow.
So
Wow.
passing D Rose.
Wow. Oh, D Rose. That's my guy. But yeah, I'll let one be eclipse D Rose.
Because I know that's like some of your top two players.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you had to make a choice now, like who's like you're the guy you would be like supporting mostly?
Like in general, like
Yeah, like I know for example, Rose is of course retired and all that,
right, right.
and Wemby's on the rise, but
Yeah.
like I guess like
If they were playing at the same time,
yeah,
and you're trying to kill me? That's a that's an insane question. Oh my gosh. Man, well hopefully they play on the same team. Both on the Bulls or both on the Spurs. Um I'm probably going Wemby because the freakish alien like like you never have seen any player like that. So I'm probably going Wemby slightly, but D Rose is up there for me too. Can't disregard him. Um, all right, that's our breaking news. Let's move into the Celtics' big breaking news, which is Jayson Tatum has returned. He's returned. Celtics fans, we are happy. Just some stats for everyone for Jayson Tatum coming back into the season. He has had about 19.8 points per game, 9.5 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 38.3 percent from field goal range, and then 30.3% from 3-point range. Since his return, Celtics have been 8-3 for the season. I mean, hey, look, it may not be Tatum numbers that you've seen him as an all-star or on the regular, but that's because he just had an Achilles injury, and so he had one of the quickest recoveries in NBA history from a Achilles injury. And so I think this is fantastic news for the Celtics, and I think one of the reasons why is I think you kind of treat Tatum at this point as a number 2 or number 3 automatic, and you have Jaylen Brown continue to be the number 1 guy as he's been this whole year, MVP like, and you just play a holistic game. Um, Now, Eric, what do you think this means with Tatum coming back toward the end of the season? The Celtics have all this chemistry. What do you think this means for the Celtics this postseason? Any strengths with Tatum back, and maybe even weaknesses with Tatum coming back here?
yeah, I think this is amazing for the Celtics. I mean, taking away Tatum, we were already second, third in the East, and having him back that just adds more depth to the lineup.
Mm,
So I agree with keeping Brown as the first option. He's top five MVP and he's doing amazing.
yeah.
So he's the choice. Like if I'm giving the ball to someone, he's the first choice.
Mm,
You put in Pritchard, he's hitting all these threes. Each game, he's very reliable. Derek White, same self he's always been. Borderline all-star, really amazing guy.
yep.
And Nimi's kid has really stepped up this season.
Oh yes, he has.
So he's been a really great fit at the center position. And of course, we got a Vucevic. I'm not sure if he's hurt right now, but if he's in that lineup healthy, then no shot that this Celtics team loses to anybody in the East.
Mm.
So that's my full endorsement. I think they're going full speed ahead. Like we talked about a gap year.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah.
gap here.
No, nope,
No, that's
nope.
it. Like we're ready to go.
Yeah,
And as far as Tatum goes, like I really think he should play on the side of caution. Even if it comes down to a really intense play where he thinks he could do something crazy,
hmm,
I would say like kind of treat it just like taking it easy. Don't be a hero.
yep, yep. I agree. I think Tatum, where he's at now with the stats he has, I think are good for the Celtics uh, in the playoffs postseason. I don't think he does not have to be superhero Tatum. He does not. You don't need him to do one-on-ones and to make a clutch shot at the end of the game. Brown is capable. Brown is capable of doing that for the Celtics. Derek White is capable of doing that for the Celtics. Payne Pritchard is capable of doing. You have these players who can perform in clutch time. That you don't need to rely on Tatum to do these things. You just need to be a role player in this rotation in this roster, and I think the Celtics can go super far. I think again, I am a little worrisome about the Pistons potentially being in front of them still, but I think yeah, with Tatum back, as healthy as he is now, restrict his minutes to a degree where he's going to be healthy throughout the whole postseason, and I think we're going to make a big run for sure.
Okay. Now I didn't really touch on it, but I actually think the Celtics' weakness is a particular player,
Hmm.
and I'm not sure if we're both thinking about the same player, like, who is the weakest player in the Celtics, like, starting lineup slash second rotation.
Mhm.
But in my opinion, if I were to get rid of one guy, and I feel bad because like, I don't wanna just, like, roast him on air and, like, make him feel like he's awful,
Yeah.
but I would really like to get rid of Sam Hauser.
Mhm.
It's just like he seems like he comes in. He's great for his role where he comes in like 5, 10 minutes a game, shoots a couple threes.
Yeah.
But as a guy who's like 20, 30 minutes a game, like going back and forth and really trying to be like a defender and a contributor,
Yeah.
I really don't think he fits like the Celtics identity really well.
Yeah, he's not an elite defender. I would say he's an underrated defender, but that doesn't mean he's elite. I do think he's underrated. But yeah, you're right. I mean, he comes in for I don't know 15 minutes a game, maybe less, and it's usually kind of set plays where he's shooting at three. And look, if anyone, if you can make a high percent of threes, which I think Hauser can, Mazzulla's going to want you on the team. So I think the problem is you have a coach that is going to want to have these players who can shoot at a high percent threes. He's not going to want to let them go. So I do agree. If you can have more of an elite defender, maybe Marcus Smart. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was a joke. If you, you have a elite defender come back, rather than the 3-point shot, then I think, you and at the maybe shooting guard position, somewhere like Sam Hauser, where he's at. I think that'd be great. Like, what is his name on the Knicks? They just acquired him. I forget his name. He
Mhm.
was acquired from the Mavericks. I forget, but he's like a veteran esque. But he's he, he, uh he gets at the ball a lot, and he's like a very annoying, almost like Marcus Smart, but he's I think a better player at this point in his career than Marcus Smart. But he's annoying. Will get up in your face kind of type of player, and I think that would be a good addition to the Celtics roster.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, you pointed out too, Joe Mazzulla. I mean, he's really three heavy, still is. And I guess I might as well tell you now.
yeah.
So my dad put in a question for you in the mailbag,
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah.
he says that there's an overwhelming amount of analysis who believe that Joe Mazzulla should be coach of the year.
Oh, yeah,
And he continues to get these endorsements, especially with how the Celtics did this, getting the second seed.
yeah.
Do you agree with that assessment?
I know why Gary asked me this question because he knows I'm very harsh on Missoula, or I've been very harsh on Missoula at times. I'm trying to think of other coaches who are up there who deserve. I mean, I think another deserving is probably JJ Redick this year. You have Luca and you have a very aging LeBron, but being able to cultivate that team to get to top three seed this year in the Western Conference, it's loaded. I think that is huge kudos to him. I forget what the Spurs coach, but probably him too is up there. I will say Joe Mazzulla deserves credit. I will say he deserves credit for figuring out a way to salvage this team's season where you had your top number one player out for at least a half of the season, maybe three-quarters of the season, and you're able to put them in a position where they are the number two seed and can make a big run in the playoffs. That's coaching there. That is coaching. Um, like no question, no doubt about it. It's not just the players there. And look, I haven't seen too many Celtics games this year where they're, if I'm seeing the same old check in threes and whatnot. But the games that I've seen, it's been more of an all around passing it around and getting it to the right shot almost. So I hope it can stay the same in the playoffs. But if we're just talking about regular season, I think Joe Mazzulla has to be talked about being one of the best coaches this season.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he himself pointed out that he thinks a lot of credit should be going to Brad Stevens, the general manager,
Oh, 100%.
because he's even got his like Baylor, Hugo. We have a lot of great prospects who are coming up in the ranks too.
Yep. Yep. He's got to be Gym of the Year. He's always got. He feels like it's like a Jokic. Brad Stevens has to be like GM of the year, right? Like I mean, he's always doing everything right. Even if you question it, you look like down the road when it's the regular season and see that player play. It's like, oh, he actually knows more than me.
Yeah.
So I think he always deserves to be up there.
Yeah, because we saw Anthony Simmons too, who wasn't like the best fit because we already have Pritchard and Derek White,
Yep.
and he eventually flipped that for Vucevic, which we didn't really have much center depth.
Yep.
So I think he has this plan in his head, like he's playing chess.
Yep.
And a lot of these players out here playing checkers.
That's right.
So, like
That's right.
I have full faith in him at this point. Like He's proven so much, and he just continues to show how elite he is.
Yeah. I will say one quick thing about Brad Stevens. The UNC job, North Carolina, Hubert something, I think his name was the last coach was there. He got
I
fired.
think so, yeah.
Brad Stevens looked like a top candidate for that job, which would be very disappointing if he would leave the Celtics. What he's done. So, but that's a great opportunity. He's coached college, and so I would say he can do whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants at this point. So, all right, let's move forward here. We're a little behind, but that's okay. We're gonna move into the playoffs. They are a one KD foot away from we're starting the NBA playoffs. If that makes sense to anyone. Uh, but the playing tournament is coming up very soon, April 14th. Playoffs start April 18th. Possible scenario here for the playing tournament. We have 76 or 7 seed, Magic 8th seed. They would go up against each other. Whoever wins would be 7th seed. Heat, Hornets, 9th, 10th. Then they would play the loser of the 7th, 8th seed. Suns, Clippers, 7th, 8th seed. And then Trailblazers, Warriors, 9th, 10th seed. Real quick here, what are your thoughts on who's going to be the 7th, 8th seed for each conference?
Ooh, I mean, it's really a big bracket. Still a lot of things can happen these next couple weeks, but
Yeah.
I really think the Heat, like, they've been known as like play-in competitors like since its existence.
Yeah.
So like I already have the Heat in my mind, like they're gonna be in the play-in, they're
Mm.
gonna win the play-in, they're gonna go to like the second round of the playoffs. They might win, they might lose.
Yeah.
But I've kind of already planned that out in my head.
Okay. Yeah. I think I don't have them personally in the East coming out of the Heat, but they're usually always competing in
Yeah.
the plan, like you said. I have Sixers and Magic coming out of there. I mean, if the Sixers are healthy, I mean, I think they're the by far the best team in the whole play-in for
Oh
the
yeah.
East, and I think Magic should be up there. In the West, I have Clippers and Suns. Clippers, I think, with Kawhi, have been really good this season, so I think they will beat the Suns in that first round. And then I think the Suns, I think Trailblazers and Warriors. I can't see them being the playoffs. That would be so. Then the Thunder would go roll over the. I mean, they're gonna roll over any eighth seed, but if the Warriors or Trailblazers get in, I mean that's yeah. Call
Well,
for a sweep. I'm already calling a sweep.
there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Clippers, they're an anomaly. They had James Harden, they had Chris Paul, all of them left,
Yeah.
and Kawhi Leonard's having quite literally career best years. So, I mean, he's the top franchise player right now. He's, I think, 34, 35.
Mm.
And you would imagine that he's going to get like on the rundown. Like he's reaching like that twilight of his career almost.
Yeah.
But no, he's picking the speed up. Like he's ready to compete.
Yeah.
And he himself said, like, oh, I don't know if we're going to be able to compete in April. Like we're just trying to get into playoffs. But I think this team like has a serious opportunity where they could make it to that first round. And, I think they could be a sleeper for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it would suck because they would play not my Spurs, but the Spurs in the first round, and that would be a tough matchup for them, I think, for sure. So that's the play-in. Regular standings here, really quickly. In the East, Pistons, Celtics, Knicks, Cavaliers, Raptors, Hawks. Which I'm surprised about the Hawks. And in the West, we have the Thunder, Spurs, Lakers, Nuggets, Timberwolves, and Rockets. So really, real quick here, biggest threats for the Celtics in East and the West right now.
Yeah. So I have the Celtics going all the way to the NBA Finals.
Mm.
I'm sure we'll give our finals prediction in a second, but
Yeah.
but I think it's gonna be Celtics, and I think on that way to the finals, they're gonna play the Knicks,
Mm.
or they'll play the Knicks like somewhere, or something will happen. But I
Yeah.
think the Knicks are the biggest threat in the East, and out in the West, I think there could be like 5 teams that could be a threat to them.
Hmm.
But I'd say the top one is probably your Spurs.
Yeah. Yeah, my Spurs. Yeah, I mean, I did say that accidentally, but I didn't say that. Yeah, I have the Pistons and the Thunder. Pistons, I just think I know they're young and I know that they don't have much experience, but I think I don't remember their head-to-head matchups. But I mean, I think with a healthy Kate Cunningham, the Pistons can go deep as well. I think they can make some noise, and the Thunder. I mean, they're just loaded everywhere, and they were last year's champions. I just think they would be really scary. I think a little scarier than the Spurs, even though the Spurs have the number on the Thunder. But I think it would have to be the Thunder and Pistons for me. If again, Kate is healthy. So, what about your initial prediction for the finals? We made predictions in this year, and yeah, I will say for me, I could be more confident in one team than the other. I, I had Thunder and Cavaliers. Thunder, I would be more confident for sure. I don't know what I was thinking with Cavaliers. I mean, I thought because the Celtics were not going to do great without Tatum, that they would just kind of be the East, and they are. I mean, they're top four seed, but I thought they'd be higher, and again they disappointed. So that's not a surprise. But what was your prediction?
Yep. So I've got for the finals. Well, back in September, I picked Nuggets and Knicks,
Mm,
and that was the same assumption as you. I thought it was gonna be a gap year for the Celtics, or I thought that they maybe finish like seventh, eighth seed, and they'd have their play-in tournament going,
yeah.
whatever. But the Knicks are definitely in the mix, and they're I think a game separated from the Celtics.
Hmm.
I don't think they're gonna be in the finals anymore. I think it's gonna be Celtics, as I said, and then Thunder. We haven't had a repeat champion in 7 years.
Wow.
I don't think that the Thunder is gonna be that one who does that.
Mm.
And if that's the case, like it could be Lakers, it could be Timberwolves, it could be Nuggets, even which I picked. But just going off an 8 game winning streak and Wembanyama leading the league in blocks, just being an amazing defender, I think that he's gonna make that jump and just take it over and Spurs and Celtics.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's my new prediction. No longer the Thunder and Cavaliers, but now Spurs and Celtics. So that's what we have to stand on. That's it. That's it. No more changes. This is it. And I think we have. I mean, Spurs have the Thunder number, and the Celtics, I think, are the best talented team in the East. And I mean, most camaraderie between Knicks and Pistons, the other top teams. I think we have the best gel. And I think we should make it to the uh, finals once again.
Although my top pick would be I'd love to see Lakers and Celtics.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to get one more Lakers with a LeBron team. Like I think I've been saying this every time in the Barry Friends podcast. I see the Lakers get up there, and I'm like, that would be awesome if we saw a Celtics Lakers final, and it just hasn't happened. I mean, maybe, possibly. I just think they don't have defense. I just think their defense is not good enough to withstand Spurs or Thunder.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely gonna be hard. I know Luka Doncic he's a top player in the NBA as far as scoring goes,
Yeah.
but people have complained about his defense too.
Oh yeah.
And LeBron, of course, he's getting older. So they're both great players as they are franchise players, but in order to make that finals leap in this really tough Western Conference, it definitely is gonna be tough.
Absolutely, 100%. Totally agree. All right, let's move on here. One in the world. One in the world segment is. I almost was going to say our one in the world segment is brought to you by like we don't have a sponsor. We don't have a sponsor. It's just we pick out a storyline, sports wise, entertainment wise, whatever, and we share it with you guys. Pretty simple. I'm going to share mine real quick because I'm not going to go into detail with it. But I'm sure most of you know, even if you're not really sports fans, it's probably been on your local news. Tiger Woods got into another car accident and faces DUI charges again. And from what I've heard and understood, he's had all these surgeries and had all these complications, and he's just in a ton of pain. But the problem is he's taking too many uh, pain medications, and he's under the influence like that in that position. And I think that was the same way with his first accident in that same way. So I mean, I'm glad just he's okay, and he's not in it didn't hurt anyone. He didn't it could have been a lot worse, like the first time. It could have been a lot worse. But what's gonna happen with him moving forward, I don't know. But it's just good that no lives were lost, and that he's healthy. So
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does seem like um, something that you don't want to have happen. It did happen. We don't really know the full story. Like,
right.
could have been a lot of factors behind the scenes, but nonetheless, sucks that it happened. I know he's still golfing, or might be like towards the end of his career.
Oh yeah, he's towards the end of his career for sure. Um, yeah, he wanted to play in the Masters again. That will not happen because of this incident. But he played indoor golf in like a new indoor golf tournament recently. But yeah, I think this is it. He's gotta hang it up and take care of himself at this point.
Yeah.
So
So just best wishes to him. Hope everything goes well with his personal life and whatever else is happening.
yeah,
But yeah, just sucks to hear.
100%, absolutely. All right, Eric, you're war in the world.
Well, it is
Taking a
definitely
little different light with mine.
yeah, the World Cup.
Yeah.
The what in the World Cup.
Mhm.
So every edition of the World Cup, there is a anthem that becomes like the official song of FIFA in that edition of the tournament.
Mm.
And I know back in middle school, like we're in 6th grade, there was Waka Waka by Shakira.
Mhm.
I know in 2016 there was like I think Colors by Jason Derulo.
Mm.
In 2020 there was Dreamers by Jungkook.
Yep.
Think I said that right. But the guy from BTS, the main
Yep.
guy. And of course, in the United States, we're going to be hosting this tournament. And the most recent album released by FIFA is called Later by none other than Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll, yeah.
Yep. So that is the official anthem. I think there might or might not be more in the future, but as the current moment, this is the one and only FIFA World Cup anthem. Jelly Rolls Later.
Yeah.
So I want to get your thoughts on the song and just overall,
Yeah, so I blanked out. I totally forgot that the World Cup is happening in the United States or in North America, right? Because Mexico and Canada or other places. Um, I listened to some right before the show. My initial gut reactions were it's too slow, and I don't know. I don't. Does it pick up more than that from what you
what you heard is basically the
is
song.
basically it? Yeah, it's too slow. FIFA's like, like it soccer can be a slow game. Okay, soccer can be a slow game at times, but like if you're hyping up the World Cup, I mean, this is huge, and I think honestly, it's bigger in other countries than the United States. In any case, it is hosted here, and I think it can be country. That's fine. That was going to be a negative too. I was like, that's weird. Why the heck is it country when it can be country because U.S. whatever, but I would like to be more upbeat. Like this is the freaking FIFA, like this is the biggest soccer event, right? And
Biggest,
ever, like maybe people could say UEFA World Cup or the UEFA Champions, and
not even close.
but you're right. But this, it's down to be the World Cup. So I think a little lackadaisical. I like Jelly Roll, but I think should have been more upbeat. Is my main criticism with that song.
Yeah, I think we have similar thoughts on that. I mean, Jelly Roll. I know that we think of the United States. A lot of foreigners think like country hamburgers, like this lifestyle, the
Yeah.
cowboy, all that. I actually do like some Jelly Roll songs. I will say for the FIFA anthem, like when I think of World Cup, I think of unity, culture, community,
Yeah.
and I felt that with Waka Waka with Shakira.
Mm.
Like I thought that was a really iconic song, and it still upholds the test of time. But I'm really not sure if this song later. It seems like it's more just about being like intense competition, like down, down, down,
Yeah.
and it feels like a car commercial, honestly.
Mm.
And I think overall, like we need an anthem that really reflects like everyone coming together in the United States. And I think there's a lot of artists, including General, who would really represent that. But I just think there needs to be another anthem made that fits like whatever's going to happen better.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to see what the video that goes with this or the commercial that goes with this. I think that will kind of like send it home on how I really feel. But I think yeah, just with the song, just it's not. Yeah, Waka Waka was. I mean, that's gonna be a top three for a World Cup ever, maybe number one. But yeah, that was not. I'm not inspired. I'm not inspired. That's all I'll say. Not inspired.
Not gonna dance to it. Not gonna.
No. Like I'm like, oh yeah, USA. Yeah. I mean, I'm in just my preference. I am rooting for Cape Verde because this is the first time in the World Cup, and this is going to be huge for my country. But um, yeah, I mean, honestly, you know what? You know what represents the U.S. team, the U.S. team of soccer, because they suck, and you're trying to have this, Jelly Roll. He's been in WWE and he's done all this stuff, and he's great, but just mediocre song for a huge competition like this. But I think it fits for the team.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's what they're going for. Um. Anyway, before I get cut off by whoever sees this, yeah. Anyway, mailbag here. We ask each other questions and we'll answer them on the episode. Eric, how about you ask a question for me first?
Yes. So by the time that we put this out, I believe it'll be April, and the big event in April is WrestleMania.
WrestleMania, yes.
Yep, it's gonna be happening in Las Vegas.
Mm.
And of course, right, we already have some of the matches announced. It's going to be main events are Rhodes versus Orton for the WWE Championship, as well as CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for the other championship.
Yep.
So that's the two like night one, night two main events. And of course, we have other notable matches too that we both looked at. So I just want to get your initial thoughts on the card.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Again, I'm not really in tune with WWE as much as you are now, but I had to look up the Brian Obafemi, is he the one who fought Cody?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Okay. Yeah, that'll be very interesting to see. Then I mean, yeah, they're both massive. So that would be a fun matchup to see. Uh I was fine with Punk Reigns only because I would see reels and they would be jabbing at each other, and it kind of was like really, really personal. So I was fine with that. I wasn't a huge fan with Rhodes and Orton, only because I felt like that's just I don't know. I didn't see them having any beef, or I just don't envision them like ever fighting each other. I thought they were kind of like I thought Randy was more on the heavyweight championship, not because right Cody is what is he specifically the championship?
I mean, I get them confused honestly.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
belts kind of look similar, but
yeah.
he's definitely one of the two. I think he's the WWE
Yeah,
champion.
because I think Reigns and CM Punk is world heavyweight. I'm pretty sure CM Punk's world heavyweight champion. But in any case, I just don't see him like I wish there was another point that like was more you know had a I don't know better persona than this kind of matchup for Rhodes. But I mean the other matches that I'm interested in Jade and Rhea Ripley. I think that's going to be an amazing match for the women's world championship, and then the unsanctioned match for Fatu and McIntyre. I only say that because it's like a no holds bar. It's we beat each other up until you beat each other up. So I think that's cool. I think just the one thing, and I'm sure this is just because it's the PG era of WWE, they don't have any more Hell in a Cell. They don't have any more like I don't think I think they have table ladders chairs still, but I just feel like it's like I don't know. I feel like it's more just regular matches. I feel like that's the majority of WWE now. There's nothing like no freaking bats or
Like a
any
sledgehammer for
like
Triple H.
chairs hitting it. Nothing like that. I feel like there should be a little more of that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know for a while there was like a very strict restriction on blood
Mm,
because wrestlers sometimes bleed during matches.
right,
But I think
right.
they've opened up a little more about it. But in general, like you said, like Hell in a Cell, they do pretty solemnly. They just have been like they've been trying to keep it clean,
Yeah,
essentially,
yeah.
especially with TKO
Right, right.
company.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, one thing I want to put as like an idea for WrestleMania is they have not mentioned Gunther at all at this card,
Mm,
and Gunther has retired. I believe Goldberg, John Cena, AJ Styles.
mm,
So he is like definitely getting this massive push.
yeah,
And I think at WrestleMania, like you have to keep this train going. And I understand if they don't want to do it because Roman Reigns, I think he has a year or two left on his contract, or he wants to do a year or two more of wrestling.
yeah.
But I think that if you had like a Roman Reigns versus Gunther main event for the championship,
Mm.
and if Reigns, like if he loses, he has to retire.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
oh, that would be sick.
yeah.
That would be sick.
Like
Yep.
if I want to draw in ratings as like TKO as Triple H, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know who I'd pick to win if Reigns wants to retire. Of course, have Reigns, retire.
Right.
But if he wants to keep fighting, you could even just have it like end in DQ or something like that.
Yeah. Or if Reigns wants to retire still, but he still wins, he just retires on his own, accord. He just retires on his yeah, on his wants, his plan.
Puts his
Uh
umfala in the middle of the ring.
yeah, 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 you're right, right. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you're gonna watch it, I'm assuming.
Well, I'll actually be in Florida
Oh
with
shoot.
your mother and
With
my
yeah, yeah,
family.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right, right,
it's
right.
not weird.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know. No, that's right, that's right. So, all right, let me go to my question here. Um, MLB has just begun, and I've been listening to New York radio. Don't ask me why, but I'm listening to a lot of New York radio. It's very entertaining. Um, but I'm just curious. Who's your team that you have winning the 2026 season in MLB?
You might be able to take a wild guess.
Yeah, yeah, I think
But
so.
it is, of course, the New York
New York
Yankees.
Yankees. Yeah, where's my boo one? Is that I don't have a boo button? No, I guess not. That's
Uh,
unfortunate.
But they got Aaron Judge, of course. I believe he won MVP for the AL last year.
Hmm.
So he is still one of the top players in the league.
Yeah.
Great lineup going for the Yankees. And I mean, I'm a bit biased, of course, but I think they have the utility to get back into that spot.
Yeah, I mean they're loaded. They're always loaded. I mean, look, I don't want to see another Dodgers Yankees World Series, but I don't know. I can't root for either. But I hate the Dodgers. I don't want them to see them win.
Never had two
I hate the
championships.
Yankees. I can't see. Yeah, I don't know what to talk about this. I'm going with the New York Mets here. The other New York team, they just revamped their lineup. They got rid of Pete Alonso, Edwin Diaz, and now they got Boba and these other players. I'm just rooting for an NL team that can dethrone the Dodgers, and I think this is the best team that can do it. And I think they could imagine a Subway Series, World Series, New York Mets, Yankees. I'm rooting for the Mets, so
Oh
that's
yeah,
the case.
I know Dodgers. They've been these top champions, but as you said, like a Subway Series, I feel like that would be like the with Celtics, Lakers, like that same rivalry.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, every home game is
A
right
home
there.
game.
It's like there's no home game. Everyone's right. That would be incredible if that were the case. So, well, that's gonna do it for episode 6 of the Bay Pants podcast. My name's Isaiah.
My name's Eric.
Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the beginning of spring and enjoy the rest of this week. Have a great rest of your day. And yeah, go Celtics.
Go Celtics.
Here we go.